Hello, Mr. Cox, Dad Stories. Got my drip on, yeah, hey. Okay, tonight I want to talk a little bit about what I might call Bizzare night. This wasn't even Halloween or anything like that. By saying this, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody that, has some kind of problems or disabilities or anything. It's not like that. But it was just a weird night. I was with 5 of my friends. We stopped in Indianapolis. Actually, I was living in Indianapolis that time, out on the west side. I was on the west side of Indianapolis, living on that side, and there was a state hospital not far from there. But I don't know what happened, if there was people crashed out that night or whatnot. And again, I know it's a serious situation with people, and I'm not trying to make fun of that. It was just really strange. We went to eat at a Pizza Hut. This type of thing does not happen usually at Pizza Huts. We've spent a lot of time eating at Pizza Huts in the past without these types of issues. We were inside, and the people I was with, are people that tend to find humor in things in the first place. That's, and so do I. And so we make good friends because we're always laughing at situations. It's not making fun of people, but laughing at situations. So we're in there, and this guy comes in. He walks around. He's looking at everybody like this. And again, I'm not making fun of people that have problems with their eyes. But his eye, it was anything I'd ever seen before. Like, both of his eyes were going all different ways. But it's back when Sony Walkmans were big, and it's before people had earbuds or headphones that weren't attached to anything, because there was no wireless at the time. And normally you'd have a wire that was attached to a Sony Walkman, or you could get cheaper knockoff copies made by the companies, or you could get RCA or other varieties. But it wasn't attached to anything. There was no tape player on him, no radio player, no anything, just headphones with a wire hanging. And he sat down, and he comes and looked at us all like that. He sits down in a seat, doesn't order anything. He just scoots his hind end and back and forth in the seat, and he starts going, nah, 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 nah. Again, there's no music because there's nothing in his music in his head. It's going, nah, 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 nah. I know if you know the song, but he's doing like that. We're looking at each other like, what the crap is that? Then this guy comes in, and his family, I think there was 3 or 4 of them. He walks in. He just starts going around, setting it different. With the one guy in the group, they just starts visiting. They're very loud. He starts starting down with the different people. He's got like curly blondish hair, dirty blonde hair. He starts visiting people. It's like, what in the world? And he's just like, people he doesn't know. He just sits down at the table and starts talking to them, and then, which is odd for us, but it's really odd in a city like Indianapolis. Usually people are quiet and keep to themselves. So he's doing that, and they bring him his pizza, and he goes, "This is pizza that needs a knife. This is tough." Now again, I've ate pizza lots of times. Never had tough pizza, so I don't know what he's talking about. But he goes, and they brought him a knife. He goes, "You call this a knife?" He goes, "Bubba, go out to the truck and get a chainsaw." And we're like all freaked out, but he never really got the chainsaw. But they were just, wow, there was stuff like that, bizarre stuff going on. I think there was somebody else came in and it was really weird. But like those people, they're just like really weird. And we're just laughing at this point. And this girl who was friends with us, she and I were just laughing. She was like sliding at the table laughing. And I'm like, this is so strange. It's like, what is going on? And finally, the people that were different left. And the manager or somebody that was, she gets up and get the keys and locks the door she tells us, she goes, go ahead and take your time eating, you're fine, but we don't want anybody else in here. And I don't know why. Is this a full moon night or what? And again, I'm not, being a science teacher, I'm not big into the full moon doing anything. I've tried, that's a whole other subject. I've tried to rip that one out. I guess there's a whole different branch of pseudoscience or something where they think that it affects it affects the tensors and stuff in them. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what it was. We figured that people must have escaped from the state hospital because it was just a few blocks away from there. I don't know, but it was bizarre enough that the manager locked the door, wouldn't let anyone else in. So sometimes you run into these situations where you almost feel like you've crossed over into the edge of another universe that's totally out of control or something. I don't really believe that. I'm just saying it was weird. Alright. So, this one friend, there was one that come down to visit. Sometimes he bring people with him. Sometimes, I live in Indianapolis, where, for instance, we were kids, and he'd drive down to see me, over to see me. I guess it was down from where he was at, to Indianapolis to see me, come in and visit me, and it was really nice, because otherwise you get, by yourself when you're there with anybody, but he would tell me, like, he would drive home, and he didn't know how he got home. Is this like highway hypnosis, or he must be sleeping at the wheel, or something, protecting him. He made it home all the time, but I was with him one night. Well, one night we took this whole bunch of people that were related to us. For instance, we all went to Cedar Point, but we got stuck. There was some kind of construction going on in the causeway. It goes out to Cedar Point, and we were there like forever, sitting on that causeway. And we started late in the day. By the time we got done, we had 2 cars of us. We were so sleepy. Everybody in the car was sleepy, but us as drivers were sleepy. It was terrible. We didn't have the money probably for all of us. Everybody was with us to stop and get a hotel or whatnot. By that time it was late. It had been difficult to get a motel or a hotel, but we drove all the way back. Yeah, we were so bad. I had like hard rock music turned up. I think it was listening like the Rat and stuff. Turn that dude up as loud as you can. And I was like, trying to stay awake. And I told this girl, they slapped me in the face and she did. I couldn't even feel it. I was so sleepy, and we hadn't had anything to drink or anything. We were just sleepy. So thank God we made it home okay. But I was in the car with this guy, the same guy that would go to sleep. I went down to see me. He didn't remember, so we were on the road, come back. But my brother moved to another town. We'd go visit him later than like that. So we're coming back. And we were on this one country road. It's actually a highway, but it's like one of the shorter highways in the state. I think it's recently been, part of it's been de-highwayed or something. But it was real, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning, some ridiculous time of night. And I went to sleep. I woke up with this awful sound. And I looked, and there's grass, like, going all over the car, and weeds, like tall weeds. We're like in the ditch. It's like making this noise, and I looked to see my friend that was driving, and he was like up here, because the car was like this. And I'm like, I yelled at him, I think. He woke up. I think we didn't hit a fence post, didn't hit a mailbox, or any creature or anything. He got out of the ditch. That was the last time I went to sleep on that trip, and I've tried not to go to sleep in the car with him ever since. Later we found out he's diabetic, and I think that might have been part of the problem. Part of it was just not having enough sleep. But he was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Seemed like there was something else I was going to say having to do with that. Oh, other things. We were on a trip one time. Going to northern Indiana. I don't know if it was going to see my brother or going up to some lakes or something. But this is crazy, another crazy thing, because again, I respect police. I'm glad we have police, but I never seen anything like this. We were going, I wasn't driving, my friend was driving, he was going way too fast. There was this side road coming out, but it wasn't that fast. I mean, it was over the speed limit, but he was going fast. I don't know, maybe 70 miles an hour or 70, 80 mile an hour to 55 or something like that. This side road coming out, this gravel, a county cop, police officer comes out and couldn't stop his car, and he slides. Oh, we're just about like, dude. My friend like had to swerve and slam the brakes on, and his cop car slide. It finally stopped before it got too far out. It would have killed them and us and all of us. You know, you usually don't see that kind of thing with the police. That's what I'm saying was odd. That's another thing I think I mentioned in another video. But you gotta be really careful if you're driving fast. You gotta be very careful, period. But I've learned, you know, I can kind of, I don't know what the difference is, but I can like look at the situation when I'm driving, and I can tell if someone's coming faster than they should be, or if they're going really slow at taking it. But apparently most of the people on the road, or a good percentage of the people, can't judge that. I don't understand. You know, they don't have any perception of speed or velocity. Velocity is like speed plus direction. They have no clue, because they will wait, even if you're going to speed limit. Say you're going 55, they will wait till you're almost there and pull out in front of you. And it's like, what the crud? And then they'll turn and they'll just go like 20 or 30 mile an hour, and you're going 55, and you're like throwing your brakes on and sliding and had to go around them. It's crazy. It's like, what is wrong with people? And so realize that if you're really ever driving really fast, it's crazy, because people can't, a lot of people really can't tell how fast you're going. I can tell that. Some people have the ability to tell it, and don't think that just because you have the ability to judge velocity that everybody does, because apparently a lot of the public doesn't. And they will pull out in front of you, and they will not try to get out of the way, and they'll just sit there in front of you. The other, and they'll wreck you if you let them. They will wreck you and kill you in themselves, just because they're doofless or something. I don't know what the deal is. Then there's some people that are just so stubborn, they won't try to get out of the way. They'll go, this is my road, I'm going to go over, dude. And they'll pull right out in front of you, and they'll expect you to stop, and they're not understanding that if you're going really fast, you may not be able to stop. Another thing to recognize that they don't recognize, everybody should be paying attention, but I'm here to tell you, not everybody on the road is awake, not everybody on the road is sober, not everybody on the road is paying attention. They may be on their cell phone, they may be looking down, they may have dropped something, they may be in la la land. Don't assume that somebody's paying attention and knows that you're pulling out in front of them, or across in front of them, or turning in front of them, or throwing your brakes on the turn. My other deal is, why do so many people, I've had people like, they'll turn out at you like at highway speed, and then they'll throw the brakes on and turn left. It's like, where, it's like, do they have no common sense and no respect for anyone else on the road or their own lives? You know, it's like, what the crud, couldn't you just wait a minute? I had a guy do that in Muncie the other day. But he whipped out across the parking lot at a gas station, flew out in front of me, you know, and I had to like brake very hard to keep from hitting him. And then he just turned left in front of me. It's like, why did he not just wait a second, you know? But people are nuts. People don't know their right-of-ways anymore. I don't know if it's because not everybody's had driver's ed, but see, a lot of old people even don't. They don't know when you come to a four-way stop or to a two-way stop, who stops, who goes first. They just really are clueless. A lot of people are clueless. They don't know that if they accidentally turn onto a one-way road, that there's a difference in the color of the lines, or that they, you know, they don't notice that they'll see that they're looking at the back of road signs instead of having the signs come at them. You know, you need to learn to look at those things. If you're on the right side of the road, the signs will be facing you. You're also typically will have yellow lines on both sides of one-way streets. A lot of times they'll have white lines, and You gotta watch about those street signs. So, watch what you're doing. If you're driving fast, if you're not driving fast, if you're driving, don't pull out in front of people. Don't be crazed. And don't spell. You're liable to kill yourself and everybody around you. It's just, try to use some common courtesy on the road. Get out of people's way when you can. If traffic's, if you're like in a big city and the traffic goes like clear back to miles back, think about it. Do you really have to stop and turn left right there, or could you go like to a traffic light where there's a turning arrow and turn and go back, or turn right and come around? I think about those things when I'm driving, about staying out of other people's ways, but apparently most people don't. I don't know. They don't care. They don't think about it. They're there and they're going to do what they want to do. And everybody else had better stay out of their way. Okay, there's more I had to think on that, but I can't remember what it was, so I'm going to get off of here, and I'll catch you in another video. Mr. Cox